All right, hey gang, it's June 2019 cycle overview. This month is our intensification month. We started off obviously after the open, a bunch of rebuilding, a lot of functional bodybuilding, unilateral work, left, right stuff, top, bottom, etc. Now we're getting way more into fully integrated pieces that you're going to see, or maybe hitting a little harder. The exercise selection and variance is a little more different. That's because we built a really good base, so we know we can push people more. We always kind of undulate like this, right? Goes up and we come back, and over time it builds and builds and builds more, and that's ongoing progress. So let's start off. This first week is obviously actually the last week of May, but it's up there for you guys. I always think it helps just for when I write these out to see what's been happening, so I understand the progressions. That's just kind of how my mind works on this. So we have Memorial Day Murph. Because of some of the things that we're going to be testing this month, you'll see there's testers coming up, not just really on, say, the third week of the 3-week mini cycle, but they'll be coming up on different days as well here. And each week, you'll be like, oh, that's a little bit of a harder week than normal. Yeah, that's the point, is that each week is self-similar. The first week of the first block is probably the easiest. The second week of the first block is probably, or the first week of the second block, rather, is the next hardest. The first week of the third block is a little harder, and then you'll see finally for block 4 is going to be like, well, week 1's kind of tough, right? So they keep doing that. So that's what we mean, that it gets a little harder and a little harder, and all of a sudden it's like at a fever pitch, and people are pushing hard, they're going, and that's when we restart, we deload, we change it up, we add way more variance to the piece, which kind of helps the natural deload, even though the soreness might be increased. Just kind of some of the perceptual training gets a recharge also there. And then we rebuild again. Ongoing awesomeness for you. Okay, so because of Murph on Monday, we're actually switching some stuff up here the next week for the tester. So for starting Monday, June 3rd, we're actually going to move the deadlift to Monday. Just with the following cycle, you'll see it was back squatting on Monday. We're going to build up to heavy singles. So I didn't want to keep having the squatting there on Mondays for those last couple weeks. So you'll see the switch there. The clean grip deadlift to a tester, the hang squat clean, right? When we put those two together, that's obviously full clean. There we get to build that back up with back squat and then front squat support pieces over here to increase their ability to express their power on those. So that's what you'll see kind of throughout these parts. Moderate range reps, moderate to tough loading. We're not quite there yet. Again, 3-rep clean grip deadlifts is going to be a little less than most people's mixed grip. It'll be less than their heavy single. So we're working down to shorter time under tension and a higher expression of power. Lactic endurance tester, one time through here is going to be hard. Reintegrating some power adaptation with a barbell or with a dumbbell if you like. That's up to you, but we'll be doing that. And some of the basic Oly lifting will be a little more on the body comp or lower technical side. You'll see the hang squat clean. We're not getting super technical this cycle there. And like always, anyone who that's just not what they need, not in line with their goals, the fitness training is going to be appropriate for them. And I put their dumbbell front squat for sets of 5 or a 3-and-3 hang power clean front squat. Okay, looking down as we go down here, you'll see Gusto, one of the testers we did on the initial cycle. We're actually putting here on week 9. So it's not just exactly the full same testing cycle at the end. And the reason is we wanted to build back up here to the 1-rep max back squat on that Monday, even though we didn't do it that first week of the training cycle. We've been integrating a bunch of squat endurance, high time under tension, positional work. So it made sense for us to have the back squat tester there, but we can't just overload tests there. It was test everything at the end of every cycle. We have to be selective, but it made sense when we look at the whole month to do that. So you'll see there we're starting to work up some heavier singles now, and the idea is we want a fast concentric contraction. We've been working on high eccentrics early on. Pause in the bottom, slow down, etc. all the way. Now it's going to be building up sub-maximal singles that hopefully they can stand up. When I say quick, it won't be like an air squat quick, but should be fairly quick, so that way they get through that heavy single there and they're able to grind through it and push hard. Okay, same thing here. Jackie's going to be a tester on week 2. There, Elizabeth, we're actually doing a tester coming up on the second week, the first week of this mini cycle, second week of June. So that's what I mean. There's going to be some of these tests that normally we would just be training and building. They get a little more of this because this is going to be more intensification. So that means less intervals, less rest period and kind of sustainable pieces, and more we're going to kind of take the governor off and let them push after it nice and hard. Over here, Wednesday we're building up to, or Thursday, a 2K row. That's going to build back into our bunch of midline work, and then the constant variance retester. The strict press and Cindy that was on Tuesday, we're moving that to Friday. We'll move the Friday over to Tuesday to make room for the 1 rep max back squat. And then again, to let the legs have a little bit of rest, it's upper body pull up, and then the power clean on Wednesday. So moving through the cycle here, we'll also be having a 1 rep max weighted dip the week before of the cycle, because the next week we want to be able to fully express the power clean. So we're taking the dip out that week. And it made sense, again, if you look at it, we had Elizabeth here, or Amanda for some people there. So higher rep dips, good for muscle endurance. Now expressing the power in the dip, and then the power clean's going to kind of build, and then taking away the dip and letting them just go after the power clean. So you hopefully see the progression there, but kind of snuck inside some variance to where it's not exactly just the same progression every week. The final one I'll talk about Friday is a real fun one. We're building up to the 3 rep max squat, back squat here, and we switch over to heavy singles. But what I really am looking forward to, one of my favorite workouts, is the Chief on Friday. It's going to be 3 power cleans, 6 push-ups, 9 squats, and that's going to work well. Again, because we have Jackie and all the pull-ups here on Monday. I didn't feel the need. We needed to have pull-ups again on Friday there, so the power clean worked well for, say, the sprint DT. And then it's going to be the Cindy retester. So again, versus everything being just linear progressions every week here, some things are starting to pop around throughout the cycle there. And why? Well, because we built a really good base. We know we can push people a little harder before we say, okay, well, we don't rebuild a base again. It goes away, so then we'll start to rebuild again in July. Final thing I want to note, you'll notice, again, at the front of the week, there'll be pieces, say, the strict press or some of the pull-ups here on Monday or Tuesday. You'll notice it here where it's going to be ring rows or handstand negatives or single arm bent over rows for support pieces for that, for the weighted pull-up. And I think that's going to be really good for people just for overall health. Same thing here. We're building up to the 1 rep max weighted pull-up. Because of some of the vertical pulling on Monday, we're just doing horizontal, either weighted pull-ups or isometric holds. Okay, that's going to be good for overall strength for most people. They don't get enough of that, and we know that just doing that will help them increase their 1 rep max weighted pull-up, again with a little more variance. And the reason again is because we built a really good base. So you'll see that overall throughout the cycle that the start of the week and the end of the week will fit together pretty well, and then the start of the month should progress fairly well towards the end of the month here as things kind of progress linearly also with, again, less intervals this cycle. And after this week, it's the end of June, we're going to have a little deload because it's going to be 4th of July. We'll do some hero workouts. In addition to, we know a lot of people are traveling there. It's not a great time to do a tester there for everyone. So we want to push that just a little bit. So there's a little longer of a deload reload cycle. And then we'll get back into really good summer training that we'll test again at the end of September. That'll be on a whole separate video coming out in the middle of June for your July, August, September cycle. That'll be really fun. But right now, get everyone ready for retesting the last week of the month. Heavy back squat, strict pull-up, and then our little chipper, the power clean, and our CP battery with sprint DT, constant variance, high rep, mixed modal piece. How good and how sustainable can you make a bunch of different CrossFit movements, and then finally gymnastics muscle endurance from Cindy and a strict press for good shoulder strength that obviously will be transitioning into handstand push-ups and more advanced gymnastics or weightlifting skills in the next cycle. Okay, guys, have a great one, and that's June.